Hello everyone. Let's begin our sessions on percentages. Now, in my opinion, the chapter on percentages form the most important chapter, of course, apart from number system in syllabus for your CAT examination. Now, the importance of percentages can be told by the fact that there are a lot of questions related to the use of percentage in all the chapters of commercial arithmetic. For example, your profit and loss, I would write it there. So it's profit and loss, then it's your ratio and proportion, then time and work, also your speed and distance. So it's very important in these chapters. Alright. Now, besides the calculation skills that you develop while going through the chapter on percentages, it will help you in handling your data interpretation calculations, that is your DI calculations, and a closer look at that topic will yield that at least 80% of the total calculations in any DI paper is constituted of calculations on additions and of course on percentages. I hope you people understood that what is the importance of percentages. So let's dive down into the chapter. So the first topic which we need to study here is, alright, the basic definition and the utility of percentages. Now, what actually is a percentage? I'm so sorry. Okay. So now the percent literally means what? For every 100, and it's actually derived from a French word which is called what? Cent. Alright. And this actually means what? It means your 100. Now the basic utility of percentage arises from the fact that it's one of the most powerful tools which are out there for comparison on numerical data and information. It's also one of the simplest tools for comparison data. In the context of business and economic performance, it's specifically useful for comparing data such as your profits, your growth rate, your performance, magnitudes, and so on. Now, for example, let's understand this all with an example. Alright, now a student scores 20 marks out of maximum possible 30 marks. Alright, now what can I do with this data? What I can say is his marks can be denoted as 20 out of 30. Alright, or I can simply say that 20 out of 30. And when I talk about 100, like what out of 100, I can multiply it by 100 and the answer is going to be 66%. So that means out of 100, that student actually scored 66% when he got 20 marks out of 30 marks. Alright, so his percentage is what? 66%. Let's understand this with yet another example. Okay, student A scores 20 marks in an examination out of 30, while another student B scores 40 out of 70. Who has performed better? Now here the thing is that the student A gave an examination and that examination was actually out of 30 marks, alright. Whereas there was another student B who gave the examination and that was out of your 70 marks. So I do not have a baseline for comparing these two people because the kind of examinations they give, the total marks of these two examinations are entirely different from one another. So I cannot compare them until and unless I do not have a baseline. But wait a minute, is that really the fact? Can I do compare them without actually making the total marks which they can score in both the examination equal to one another? Is there any possible way by which, not doing that can also yield a good answer which can give me a basis to actually compare the scores of A and B without doing all those, heavy calculations out there? So what is it? Yeah, of course, you understood. It's percentages. I'm so sorry. So it's percentages. So what we are going to do here is, now just by considering the marks as 20 and 40, we cannot get a clear picture of the actual performance of the two students, and as I've told you, So in order to get a clearer picture, we consider the percentages of the marks. Now suppose there is, I'm so sorry. So suppose there is this person and this is A and it gets 20 marks out of 30. So if I calculate the percentage, it will be this. So it will be what? It will be 200 by 3, which is nothing but 66.66%. Correct. Whereas there is another who is B and B gets 40 marks out of 70. So the percentage is going to be 400 by 7, which is nothing but 57.14%. So clearly I can see that the percentage of A is more than the percentage of B. So percent of A is greater than percent of B. This implies what? This implies that performance of A was better than performance of B. Now if any person, any XYZ person who is actually doing any calculations, what he will think is that A is only getting 20 marks and B is getting 40 marks. And our subconscious brain, what our brain is going to do, they are going to neglect the fact that A is getting 20 out of 30 and B is getting 40 marks out of 70. So difference between 20 and 30 is 10, whereas difference between 40 and 70 is 30. Which means that performance of A is better than the performance of B. But obviously, if any person is going to see the data as it's given on the slide, then any person is going to do the same which I have told you right now. So it's very, very important that we convert the data in form of percentages so that we can actually have a baseline to compare the two datas without converting anything into one another. So for example, if I needed to convert these 30 marks to 70 marks, then it would be a lengthy conversion because I needed to convert 30 into 70. Then I needed to convert the 20 marks which was obtained by 30 into the marks X which A will basically get if the marks were given out of 70. And then the comparison between A and B could be drawn. But here what is happening? I'm simply calculating the percentages and it has made my life so simple. So on that basis, let me understand one more question here. Okay, so what does it say? It says that a company A increases its sales by 1 crore rupees while company B increases its sale by 10 crore rupees. Which company has grown more? Now, just think about it. Just pause the video and think about it. Can you people from the given data interpret that which company has grown more or which company has actually performed better? If you people have actually stopped the video and thought, then you people will realize that maybe the data isn't enough. The reason is that out of what 1 crore, from what 1 crore, has the company increased its sale by 1 crore from 50,000 or from 90,000? What is the baseline? And B has increased its sale by 10 crore. So it has increased it by 10 crore. Okay. So was the previous scale, previous sales what? 9 crore. And it has increased 10 crore out of it, or 8 crore, or it has increased 10 crore out of it. So what's the baseline? How can I actually compare these two things? So apparently the answer to the question seems to be what? Company B. Now most of you people will think that what? Company A has only increased its sale by 1 crore, whereas when I talk about B, the sales were increased by what? 10 crore. But the question cannot be answered since we do not know the previous year's sales figure. Although on the face of it, company B seems to have grown more, obviously. If we have further information saying that company A had sales turnover of rupee 1 crore in the previous year and company B had a sales turnover of rupees 100 crore in the previous year, we can compare the growth rates and see that it's company A that has grown 100%, right? Because in the previous year it was what? 1 crore, whereas the previous year of B was what? 100 crore. So given the fact, I could say that it's the company A that has grown 100%. Hence company A has a higher growth rate. Even though in terms of absolute value increase of sales, what? Company B is actually the one that is doing much greater things. So I cannot compare without actually getting more information or without actually, making clear that what my standards here really are. Like what's the baseline, what I'm dealing with in this. So I hope you people understood this. So let's move forward and let's see another concept. So when I talk about another concept, my another concept is importance of base or denominator for percentage calculation. Now what is a denominator and what is a base? Alright, this is exactly what I was talking to you people in the previous question. I was saying that there has to be a base with respect to which you people can actually compare the values and get to know that who is performing better and who is not performing that much better. Alright. Now mathematically the percentage value can only be calculated for your ratios, and that by definition must have a denominator. Correct. Hence, on one of the most critical aspects of percentage is the denominator, which in other words is also called what? Your base. It's called your base value of the percentage. Now no percentage calculation is possible without actually knowing the base to which the percentage is to be calculated. Hence, whenever faced with the question that what is percentage, always try to find out the answer to the question, that is what? Percentage to what base? Alright, to what base I need to calculate the percentage. So you people always need to find the base, or your percentage level, your denominator, with respect to which you have to actually do your calculations, right? So let's move forward. Now the concept of percentage change. So what is percentage change? So the concept of percentage change, now whenever the value of a measured quantity changes, the changes can be actually captured through what? These two things, that is absolute value change or percentage change. So if there is any change in the measured quantity, I can actually tell those changes with the help of these two things. Now both these measurements have their own advantages and disadvantages. So let me read about these two and then we'll try solving a question. Alright. So what is your absolute value of change? Now it is the actual change in the measured quantity. For instance, let's take an example. Now sales in year 1 is rupees 2500 crores, correct? And sales in year 2 is rupees 2600 crores. Then what is the absolute value change in rupees? That is going to be your 100 crore. And how did this come? This came when you actually subtracted the 2. Okay, so this actually came when you actually subtracted the two terms. This is basically what? Your absolute value change. Now what's going to be your percentage value change? It's the percentage change got by the formula. Your formula, okay, I'm going to write this formula again because I think you people can't see it. So it is your percentage change is going to be your absolute value change over your original value, and this whole multiplied by 100. So this is basically what your equation is. So in this case, what is going to happen? The change was 100 and what was the original value? 2500 into 100. So this whole is going to come what? 100 by 25, which is nothing but this is what your 4%. Your 4%. Now as seen earlier, this often gives us a better picture of the effect of change. Because suppose I'm going to say that in previous year the sales were 2500 and in this year the sales are 2600 crore. So what's the change? Obviously people are going to say that alright, 100 crore change is there. But with what percentage is basically what's going to give me a much more insight in your data. Alright, it's going to tell me that at what rate the things are increasing or decreasing, or if the things are remaining stagnant or not. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now there is this one note, if you can see. This note says the base used for the sake of percentage change calculations is always the original quantity unless stated otherwise. Okay. So if I'm talking about the base, that base has to be the original quantity which was in the first place if it's not stated in the question. Like for example, in this example which I undertook here, 2,500 was my original cost, and sorry, original sales I would say. And then in the next year 2,600 was basically the sales. So the original sales, which I'll take it as a base, is 2,500 crore. Alright, and unless stated otherwise, which is to say that sometimes in your questions it can be mentioned that you need to take the new one. So in that case, instead of considering 2,500, you need to consider 2,600 for your calculations. Alright, so let's do a very small and easy question related to this topic, and then let's end our session. Okay, so the question says, the population of a city grew from 20 lakhs to 22 lakhs. So this is my first data and this is my second data. This is my primary one because the population actually grew from 20 lakhs to 22 lakhs, which means that my initial population was 20 lakhs and the growth in population is what? 2 lakhs. So 2 lakh people actually were more than the previous year. Now what I need to find the percentage change. So what is going to be the percentage change? It's very, very simple. Percentage change is going to be the difference between the two, that is 2 lakhs upon what? The original 20 lakhs into 100. So this is going to be what? This is going to be 10%. Great. Next question. Percentage change based on the final value of population. Here what I'm going to do? I'm going to find the percentage change where my denominator is going to be what? The final value, and this is going to be 9.09%. Now here in my question final value is mentioned, therefore in my denominator I took 22, but in first one nothing was mentioned, so by default I need to consider the original value. I hope you people understood this. So if you want to do further questions related to this, go to EduRev, check all the documents and everything, the content which is available there. You will find plenty of things, and the rest of the topic we are going to continue in next video. Hope you people understood well. Thank you very much.